In the last episode, we successfully had the agent call a weather tool and give current and live weather data. And we got the correct answers after the agent looked at the weather and spoke about how it affected harvesting. But then we still are stuck on one problem, which is no matter what we ask, the agent will still give advice, whether it should give advice or not. So, what I mean by that is there a point at which it must escalate to the human? So, let's look at that now. This question was asked today. The leaves on my groundnut are yellowing and falling off early. Now, this is an alarming situation, and there is a prime suspect, which is the leaf spot disease, some actions, and so on and so forth. And our independent review agent, which we added in a previous episode, says that it's mixing up this disease with rust, but it is still giving some advice. Now, if something is very critical or urgent, maybe there should be a way for it to immediately escalate to a human agronomist. And that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so let's see how this does after pushing. My groundnut plants have black rotting stems at the base, and the whole plant is wilting and dying. Now, is there a time when a bot should not answer? There is a time when something would be wrong advice or ambiguous advice, it can make the situation worse. And there we have it. Based on what you've described, this situation needs expert attention. Please contact your local agronomist or call the Kisan call center 1551. Now, that is a local line in India. This is a service by the government that helps farmers who have situations or just general help. But the idea is that we are stopping the conversation and we are not engaging with AI generated advice. Now the bot's job has become get the farmer to the right person immediately, no guessing. So, how did we do this, right? So, in the last episodes, we had an independent reviewer review the crop by creating a variable called concern. And this concern was supposed to be the thing that the independent reviewer over here, which is a separate haiku call, would basically get on the basis of the farmer's message, the primary suspect, the severity, which is going to become important, and the treatments. And this is something that would get passed, right? So we would have the reviewer say okay if it concurred with the Claude Sonnet call, and if it did not, it would write a sentence of its concern, and that is where it would go in the handle crop disease. So if we go back to handle crop disease, which is our main crop disease handler, you have something here which is concerned. It reviews the crop diagnosis and gets some text. Now, what we add is if the severity is high and the concern is there, which is not none, then we send that canned message and we just stop right there. So both the Claude calls are completely stopped and we just say, this is the time for a human to get involved. It's not something that we should give advice that is probabilistic and may cause more damage to the farm and losses to the farmer. So this is how we're doing it. We also make a small but a much needed change in setting and getting profiles. So now we're going to have the user mention things. So if they say that their farm is in Ahmedabad, it's in Bangalore, Cochin, wherever it is, it will update this and add it to their profile. Because as you may have remembered, we hard coded the location because we didn't have any user profiles. But now we do. And the user profile is not something that we fill some form with. It's just dynamically understood from the user's conversation. Because what if they say, I am a farmer in Amravati or I am a farmer in Jammu, wherever it is. So now it will get like a profile and set the profile and include that in the handle the farm strategy. And that happens with these two helper functions, the get profile and the set profile. And those also are something that we store with the upstash token because that will help it persist between sessions. So now we've given this whole thing a profile, which was just good practice with the user management. And the bot now knows when to stop, right? That's a harder product decision than adding any feature, which is don't wait until something breaks, right? Build something that safeguards the user before you start getting paid customers. But here's the next question. How do we know that the escalation is firing when it should and not firing when it shouldn't, right? You can send test messages all day, but one wrong classifier call, one edge case in the reviewer, and the escalation logic just breaks down. So, in the next episode, we will build what is called a test harness, which is automated testing for the classifier and the reviewer so that the changes to the bot don't silently break what is already working. So, we'll see that next time. Have a great rest of the week, and bye bye.